We are starting with the color blue. Why blue? Blue is the color of Psora. This is mentioned by Ortega in his book Notes on Miasms. Ortega was a student of Kent, and Ortega mentions in his book that he correlates different colors with different miasms. Now with Psora, the color is blue. Why blue? If you think of a patient with hypoxia, lack of oxygen, so he's having cyanosis and the color is blue. The face and the lips turn blue. So anything to do with Psora is hypo, lack, scanty. So if you consider hypoxia, which is lack, and that is reflected in the color blue. So if you see here in the criteria as lack, scanty, absence, we were talking about the practical manifestations in some time. But anything to do with lack, hypo, scanty represents the psoric miasm. Now if you see, the key word for Psora is irritation. What kind of irritation? It can be two. It can be a mental irritation. So always mind is in a state of irritation. Anxious, anxious, anxious. Lots of anxiety, lots of alertness, very apprehensive. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? Think of the agitated, anxious state of argentum nitricum. Always on the edge. So the mental irritation of Psora, anxiety, apprehension, alertness. So the 3 A's, I think it's mentioned here. Yeah. The mental irritation, anxiety, alertness, apprehension. If you have your handout, I think it's also there in the handout, page 3 and 4, keywords of the miasms. So lots of anxiety, lots of apprehension, lots of, and here alertness is not, like in a good way alert, but it's always on the edge, like what's going to happen, what's in store for me. If you see the physical irritation, itch, always scratching all over, the physical irritation part. So lots of itching, lots of irritation. So the key word again, Psora, for irritation. Mental irritation is represented by anxiety, represented by apprehension. Whereas the physical irritation, lots of itching and lots of scratching. Clinically, remember all hypo manifestations, scanty manifestations, lack manifestations generally represent Psora. Obviously, there are exceptions, we'll talk about that, but that's the general clinical outline that the hypo manifestations are psoric.